Hello friends around the world. My name is KAZU. I welcome you all to come and visit my page. And I hope you enjoy all my posts, pictures, and video clips. I want to use this wonderful opportunity to say thank you all who have been leaving your wonderful comments, messages, and gifts. And I hope I will hear from you again. I also want to say thank you for choosing to view this video clip.
I'm Professor Eskandari at Santa Barbara City College. I am the Professor of Political Science and Middle Eastern History at Santa Barbara City College, and I'm one of the advisors to the Nuclear Age Peace Foundation, and I'm also their representative at the United Nations for various functions. The question of what my hope for the future is that we can address the question of war. I think that is one of the most important questions that we need to address. Secondly, with regard to what specifically do I hope for, I do hope that we manage to have an international, a world body addressing the question of the environment. Those two things, the environment and the question of war, I believe are matters of survival, and I do hope that we address them.
Stephen Zunes, Professor of Politics at the University of San Francisco. My vision is a world that emphasizes both civil liberties, individual liberties, and social justice. One where there is equality between nations, between communities, between peoples. One that is based on laws, not on who has the most powerful armed forces or the most money. And it's a society that I believe at root needs to be nonviolent, and as a result I believe it's a society that we can only get to through the use of creative nonviolence.
My name is Peter Haslund. I teach international politics and global studies at Santa Barbara City College. And the question was, what sort of world would I like to see? I'd like to see us care a lot about each other, care enough to listen carefully. Because when we do that, we begin to learn that the distinctions that we now see between us are not that great. And what we further see is that there are ways of coping with the gaps that do exist. We are not the same, but our differences are minuscule in comparison to our similarities. And the problem at the moment is we don't listen.
My name is John Arquilla from the Naval Postgraduate School in Monterey, California. My hope and vision for the future is that we all realize that the problems that matter the most in the world, from clean air and clean water, to hunger, to disease, to crime and terror, these are all problems that can only be solved through international cooperation, not by individual nations. And so my hope is that we learn to cooperate in the years to come.
My name is Carol Bogert. I'm the Associate Director of Human Rights Watch, which is based in New York, but it's an international organization. And my hope and vision for the future is international. I hope that people all over this planet are able to live free from government repression, that they are not subjected to torture, that they are not arrested without charge, that they are not held in prisons where no one knows where they are, that they are not separated from their families without cause. I hope that children are not taken by governments or rebel groups and forced to fight in wars. I hope that women do not become victims of sexual violence. And I hope that whenever any of these abuses take place, that there are decent, competent courts that are willing to take up their case and to make sure that justice is done. That's my hope and my vision for the future.
Hi, my name is Dave Morris. I'm a professor at Santa Barbara City College. And the kind of world that I look forward to is a world in which children in particular, everyone, but children in particular, are more in touch with one another. I've found that when children meet one another, it's generally an open kind of arrangement. It's easy to build trust. They're interested in one another. They see each other simply as real people. And I've rarely found a situation where when people meet each other as children, they don't grow up with at least a somewhat friendly relationship. So that's my hope.
My name is Richard Applebaum. I'm a professor of sociology and global and international studies at UCSB. I direct our new master's program in global and international studies. And that program is designed in 2 years to train students to go out and to make a difference in the world, to create a world which is more just, which is based on human principles rather than the principles of big business or private interests. The world at the moment is really in a transition. A world that was framed by countries, nation-states, has been challenged by a world in which everything goes beyond borders, the world of the transnational. And we have to understand that world. The world is in need of healing. In the Hebrew tradition, there's a phrase, tikkun olam, to heal the earth. The earth needs healing. And I am optimistic that this can be done if only we understand the dynamics and if enough people realize that we are on the cusp of history right now. Whether it has to do with terrorism or the environment, or huge businesses which are moving everywhere without regard to environmental concerns or human rights concerns. The world is in a transition, a tipping point. And I think that today's generation is in a position to make a difference. If they wake up and start to see themselves as citizens of the world, as opposed to citizens of a particular country.
My name is Marie Clark Burrell, and I work at Africa Action. And my hope and vision for the future is that one day we will succeed at understanding our interconnection with one another, that we would understand ourselves like trees, that all of us, each leaf is connected to a branch, and that branch to the tree. And in the same way that we as human beings are all connected to one another, because when we understand that connection, then we are able actually to build a better world, a world where we care for one another, where we understand all of our actions as influencing one another, and we'll take actions that lead us towards justice and peace. And my message for the children, it's a good time for this. I'm actually pregnant, so I'm going to have one of these children soon. And my message is to be kind to one another, to be gentle, because we are all connected and you are never alone.
My name is Kimmy Weeks, and my organization is called Youth Action International. Well, I want to see a world free from war and human suffering, a world where no child is living without food or water or doesn't have access to education. So I think that's the most beautiful thing, that we can all work together. And more incredible is that it's very possible. It's not a utopian dream. It is something that we can do in this generation. We can end world poverty. Well, my message for all of the kids around the world, the future leaders of the world, in fact the leaders today, is that we need to all continue to work for peace. And if we do ever achieve it, which I hope we will achieve, peace and an end to world poverty, that all of us will work to preserving it, because that is the key, preservation. And we can do it in our own personal lives. So no one child can say, I will change the entire world. But what we do in our life, how we interact with other kids, how we interact with other people, and how we build ourselves from the inside really will have an impact in making a difference in the world. So let's rock on and keep rocking.